My friend Libro, does anyone know Libro? You guys know Libro, a few of you maybe? She was my friend growing up, and she loved camp. She had been going to camp for years and years and years. And in high school, she said, Dandy, I want you to come to camp with me, and you are not going to say no, otherwise I'm not going to be your friend. So I think she was joking, but in the interest of keeping my friend Libro, I decided that I would come to camp. And I came as a salt. Some of you are salts, all of you in gray shirts. Yeah, that's right. Salting is awesome! Yeah. And I came as a salt, and I loved it so much, being a salt, that I stayed for 8 years. So I worked here for so long. It was a few years ago now. I haven't worked at camp for the past 2 summers, which makes me a little sad. But I am so excited to be back. Like Tiltro said, I'm Dandy. This whole week, we'll be talking a little bit about story. You'll be talking about God's story and your stories and how those connect in Bible study throughout the week. And we'll be talking about that here in chapel. So, you'll be hearing a little bit about my story throughout the week. I'll tell some stories as I'm talking to you guys about my life. But I really want to hear all of your stories. And I know there's a lot of you, and I'm going to try to remember the people whose names I learned, so please forgive me if I forget. But throughout the week, I would love it if you would come up and tell me a little bit about yourself. Any of you, anytime. You could tell me a little bit about something funny that happened to you during the day. You could tell me your life story from beginning to end. That's fine too. You could tell me just a story that tells me a little bit about who you are. You could even just tell me a little bit about what you like to do. So if you come up to me and you say, Dandy, can I tell you a story? Can I tell you a little bit about myself? I'll say one of 2 things. Number 1, I'll say, oh my gosh, yes please! Let's hang out over here. We're going to talk right now. This is going to be great. I'm so excited to hear your story. Or I'll say, oh my gosh, yes please! But I'm talking to someone else right now, so let's find a time! And then we can talk about who you are, and I can hear your story. I'm so excited to get to know all of you. So a little bit about myself. After I worked at camp for a few years, I moved out to Chicago, Illinois, which is quite a ways away, and it's very cold in the winter, which is not my favorite thing ever. I'm much more of a warm weather person. But I moved out to Chicago to be a seminarian. I go to grad school at a seminary. Does anyone know what a seminary is? Yeah, it's kind of a weird word. A couple people. Hoopla knows. He's there too. We're classmates. So a seminary is just a fancy word for a school that trains people to be pastors or maybe camp leaders or something like that, which is what I want to do. So that's what I'm doing now. I love to dance, maybe more than anything else in the world. I love it. Anyone else love to dance? Yeah, dancers. If anyone wants to have a random dance party, just come seek me out. I like to sing. I like being in the wilderness so much. Being out here feeds my soul. I love everything about it. The mountain is so gorgeous. And I really like to eat bacon. Does anyone else love to eat bacon? Yes!
Praise.
It's so good! Praise the Lord. Am I right? I love bacon. It's like my favorite thing ever. So this week what we're going to be doing, besides hearing about God's story and our stories, is studying this book, the Bible. Who brought their Bible this week? Wow, that's a ton. Way to be, you guys. So for chapel, what I'd love you to do is bring your Bible every time. We'll be reading it together, and I'd love to hear some of you guys read as well. Guys and girls, I'm sorry, I'm going to use that better. All of you, I'd love to hear you read sometime throughout the week if you would like to. You don't have to, but if everyone could bring their Bibles, that'd be great. And if you do not have a Bible, no shame. Not a problem. You can just ask your counselor and they'll be able to get you a Bible. We have enough for absolutely everyone. So if you don't have one, just ask your counselor. How many of you use hashtags? Instagram, Facebook? No one wants to admit it. It's okay. I do sometimes too. Sometimes I don't. Yeah, she raises her hand. I do. Yeah. So this last year, my roommate, her name is Mandy. She's pretty sassy, quite a delight. She's hilarious. She came up with this hashtag, and and it's hashtag #NoShame2014. We were talking about this a little bit. We were talking about the difference between guilt and shame.